Welcome to Infinite Universe with another fascinating story. Amelia Earhart was a brave woman and one of the most famous pilots in the world. She made history by becoming the first woman to fly an airplane all by herself across the Atlantic Ocean. For nearly a century, people have remembered her not only for her courage but also for her sense of adventure and the mystery that surrounded her. She showed the world that women could be just as strong, daring, and capable as men. Her incredible achievements made her an inspiration to millions of people, especially to young girls who dreamed of reaching for the skies and doing extraordinary things. In 1937, Amelia decided to take on an even bigger challenge. She wanted to become the first woman to fly all the way around the world. At that time, this was an extremely dangerous goal. Airplanes were not as advanced as they are today, and flying long distances was risky. The weather could change quickly, and there were no modern tools like satellites or GPS to guide pilots. Despite the dangers, Amelia was determined to follow her dream. She began her journey with her navigator, Fred Noonan. The two of them set off full of hope, knowing that if they succeeded, they would once again write their names in history. But then tragedy struck. On July 2, 1937, while flying over the Pacific Ocean, Amelia and Fred suddenly disappeared. Their plane never arrived at its destination, and no one ever heard from them again. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. Their aircraft was never found, and no clear signs were left behind. The world was shocked and deeply saddened. Search teams spent days looking for them, but not a single trace was discovered. Since that day, the mystery of what really happened to Amelia Earhart has puzzled historians, pilots, and explorers. Over the years, countless theories have been suggested. Some believed the plane crashed into the ocean and sank to the bottom. Others thought Amelia and Fred may have landed on a remote island and tried to survive there, hoping for rescue. These ideas kept the mystery alive, but no one could ever prove what had truly happened. Amelia's disappearance became one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in aviation history. Then, in 2020, something unusual happened. A man named Michael Ashmore was looking at Apple Maps when he noticed something strange. While zooming in on a small island in the Pacific called Nikumaroro, near the Tarawa Peninsula, he spotted what looked like a long cylinder-shaped object lying in a shallow lagoon. Curious, he shared his discovery with Dr. Richard Pettigrew, the head of the Archaeological Legacy Institute. Dr. Pettigrew immediately recognized that the shape looked very much like part of a plane, possibly the fuselage of the Lockheed Model 10 Electra, the exact type of aircraft Amelia had been flying when she disappeared. The mysterious shape soon became known as the Tarawa object. For many years, some researchers had believed in what was called the castaway theory. This theory suggested that Amelia and Fred may have managed to land on Nikumaroro Island and tried to survive there while waiting for help. However, there was never enough strong evidence to prove it. The discovery of this strange object in the lagoon gave fresh hope that the mystery might finally be solved. Dr. Pettigrew and his team collected 26 satellite images of the same lagoon, taken between 2009 and 2021. When they studied them, they noticed something fascinating. During strong storms in 2015 and 2016, the object appeared to have been uncovered. Powerful winds and waves had pushed away the sand and mud, revealing what seemed to be a long metallic structure under the water. For a short while, the object was clearly visible in the shallow lagoon before nature slowly buried it again with shifting sand. It was as if the island itself was hiding the secret, only revealing it briefly before covering it up once more. This discovery reignited interest in Amelia Earhart's story. For decades, people had wondered if they would ever find solid evidence of what happened to her. Now researchers had a specific location to explore. Archaeologists and scientists began planning expeditions to the island, hoping that if they dug carefully in the right place, they might uncover pieces of the plane, or even personal items that Amelia and Fred had carried with them. If the aircraft were found, it would not just solve one of history's greatest mysteries. It would also bring closure to the millions of people who had followed Amelia's story for generations. It would honor her memory as a pioneer of aviation and pay respect to the courage she showed in following her dream, no matter the risks. Her disappearance had inspired countless books, documentaries, and movies, keeping the mystery alive in popular culture for more than 80 years. Even though nearly a century has passed since that fateful day in 1937, people still feel connected to Amelia Earhart's story. Her determination, bravery, and the enduring mystery of her final flight continue to inspire the world. And now, with new discoveries and modern technology, we may finally be closer than ever to uncovering the truth of what really happened to Amelia and Fred on their last, unforgettable journey. She was not just a pilot but a symbol of following dreams no matter how difficult or dangerous they seemed. Her courage, determination, and hope showed people that anything was possible if they believed in themselves. The discovery of the Terria object might finally be the missing piece of the mystery. With modern technology, advanced research tools, and growing interest, the truth about Amelia's final journey may finally be within reach. Explorers are already preparing to return to the island, this time with better equipment that can scan deep underwater. Their goal is to find out if the object really is part of the Lockheed Electra. If they manage to discover other parts, such as the engine or wings, it could confirm once and for all what happened to Amelia and Fred. Even if the full plane is never found, this discovery has already changed everything. It has renewed the search, reminded people of Amelia's bravery, and given fresh hope to those who believe her story deserves closure. Her life continues to inspire people across the world. Her courage teaches us to explore, to keep searching, and to never give up, no matter how long it takes. Amelia Earhart was a fearless woman who loved flying more than anything. She became one of the most famous pilots in the world when she became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. At a time when people thought flying was too dangerous for women, Amelia proved them wrong. She was curious, bold, and ready to face the unknown. Because of her courage, she is still remembered nearly 100 years later. She always wanted to push boundaries. She didn't care about following expectations or doing what society thought was proper for women. Instead, she followed her own dreams and showed the world that women could achieve great things if they were brave enough to try. Flying gave her freedom, and she believed the sky had no limits. Her love for adventure and discovery made her a true role model to millions. In 1937, she decided to take on her greatest challenge yet, flying all the way around the world. It was one of the most dangerous trips a pilot could attempt at that time. She carefully prepared for the mission, knowing how risky it would be. Her plan was to fly along the equator, the longest route around the Earth. Fred Noonan, an experienced navigator, joined her to help map out the path. Together, they set out full of hope and excitement. First, everything went smoothly. They flew across continents and oceans, stopping along the way to refuel and rest. But on July 2, 1937, tragedy struck. While flying over the Pacific Ocean near Howland Island, Amelia and Fred suddenly lost contact. No one ever heard from them again. Their plane vanished without a trace. No signals, no wreckage, no evidence of what went wrong. It was as though they had disappeared into the sky itself. The disappearance of Amelia and Fred quickly became one of the greatest mysteries in history. The U.S. government launched one of the largest search operations of its time, sending ships and planes to comb the ocean, but no answers were found. Still, people never stopped looking. For decades, investigators, historians, and explorers searched for clues, but the mystery remained unsolved. Over the years, many theories have been suggested. Some believe the plane ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. Others think Amelia and Fred might have survived for a while on a deserted island. The most famous of these theories is the castaway theory. According to it, Amelia and Fred may have landed on Nicomedo Island, about 400 miles southeast of Howland. They could have lived there as castaways, waiting for rescue. But until recently, there was never strong proof to support this idea. In 2020, a surprising discovery gave new hope. Michael Ashmore, while using Apple Maps, spotted something unusual near the Terria Peninsula on Nicomedo Island. In a shallow lagoon, he saw a long, thin object shaped like a metal cylinder. It didn't look natural. Believing it could be important, he shared his discovery with Dr. Richard Pettigrew, head of the Archaeological Legacy Institute. When Dr. Pettigrew examined the image, he immediately noticed how much the object resembled the body of a Lockheed Model 10 Electra, the same type of plane Amelia was flying when she disappeared. The strange shape was soon named the Terria object, and it sparked excitement among researchers worldwide. That was the exact kind of plane Amelia Earhart had been flying when she disappeared, and this discovery filled people with excitement. Could this finally be the answer the world had been waiting for? Could the strange object in the lagoon really be the wreckage of her missing plane? Dr. Richard Pettigrew thought there was a good chance it could be, and he immediately began raising funds to investigate. Research like this is very costly, especially when it involves traveling to such a remote island and using advanced technology. To learn more, Dr. Pettigrew's team collected 26 satellite images of the lagoon, taken between 2009 and 2021. When they studied them, they noticed something fascinating. During two powerful storms, one in 2015 and another in 2016, the waves and wind had shifted the sand in the lagoon, uncovering the mysterious object for a short time. In the satellite photos, it was clearly visible under the water before it became buried again. This suggested that the object had been there for many years, hidden away beneath the sand, and only revealed when nature uncovered it. This discovery gave people fresh hope that Amelia's mystery could finally be solved. It also made the castaway theory seem more likely. If Amelia and Fred had landed on Nikomaro Island, maybe they tried to survive there, and their plane had remained hidden in the lagoon for more than 80 years. Still, questions remained. Was the object really part of Amelia's Lockheed Electra, or could it be something else entirely? The only way to find out was to investigate it in person. Dr. Pettigrew and his team began planning an expedition to Nikomaro. They wanted to use sonar technology and underwater cameras to study the object closely. With clear pictures and physical samples, they might be able to prove once and for all if the object truly was Amelia's missing plane. The thought of finally solving one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history thrilled people all over the world. News channels and social media followed the story closely, sharing updates as preparations for the expedition moved forward. The object in the lagoon had remained buried for decades, but the storms of 2015 and 2016 revealed enough of it to spark worldwide interest. For researchers, this was a major breakthrough. The shape, size, and even the possible reflections in the images closely matched the design of a Lockheed Model 10 Electra. Everything pointed to the same possibility, that this could truly be a piece of Amelia's plane hidden in plain sight. Even so, satellite images alone were not enough. To confirm it, experts had to reach the site in person. But traveling to Nikomaro Island is not easy. It lies deep in the Pacific Ocean, far from regular transportation, and is surrounded by sharp coral reefs. Organizing a mission there would require time, money, and highly skilled specialists. Knowing the importance of this discovery, Dr. Pettigrew began gathering archaeologists, engineers, divers, and ocean scientists. He wanted the best team possible to ensure the investigation was carried out with care and accuracy. Many people supported the project by donating money. Some did it because they loved history, while others gave because they had admired Amelia Earhart all their lives. Everyone wanted to be part of the effort to uncover the truth about the brave pilot and her navigator. Meanwhile, new technology continued to help. Better satellite images, underwater scanning tools, and digital 3D mapping allowed the team to study the object in greater detail before even setting foot on the island. They also reviewed old weather reports and data from 1937, piecing together what could have happened during Amelia's final flight. One theory began to stand out, that Amelia and Fred may have run out of fuel, landed or crashed near Nikomaro, and that the plane had stayed hidden in the shallow waters of the lagoon ever since. The castaway theory also became more believable. The island had fresh water, coconuts, and signs that people may have once lived there. In past explorations, researchers had even found bones, pieces of clothing, and old tools that seemed to date back to the 1930s. None of these findings could be confirmed as belonging to Amelia or Fred, but they fueled hope. The discovery of the object in the lagoon felt like the strongest clue yet. If it truly was part of the Lockheed Electra, then it would finally prove what happened on that mysterious day in 1937. Dr. Pettigrew and his team prepared advanced equipment, including underwater robots, diving crews, and research vessels. Their goal was to uncover the object, document every detail, and share their findings with experts around the world. As the expedition grew closer, the mystery of Amelia Earhart once again captured global attention. Media outlets reported on every new update, and people who had long believed the mystery could never be solved were now filled with fresh excitement and curiosity. It felt like, after nearly a century, the world might finally be about to learn the truth. Could this finally be the answer to the question that has remained unsolved for more than 80 years? Families who loved Amelia and passed her story down through generations hoped they might finally learn the truth. Historians dreamed of writing the last chapter in the story of one of aviation's greatest pioneers. And ordinary people from around the world watched with interest, excited by the thought that technology and human determination might finally solve the mystery of Amelia Earhart. But the mission was not without its challenges. The island was extremely remote, far away from hospitals, rescue services, or even reliable communication. The weather in the Pacific could change quickly, tides could shift, and dangerous conditions like sharp coral or strong currents could make diving risky. Even if the object in the lagoon turned out to be real wreckage, there was no guarantee that it could be safely recovered or studied. It might be heavily damaged, buried in thick layers of sand, or corroded after decades underwater. Still, the team pressed forward with hope. For them, the mission was not just about finding a piece of metal. It was about telling the full story of two brave people who attempted something extraordinary, and who may have spent their last days stranded on a lonely island with no help in sight. It was also about honoring Amelia's bold spirit, her courage, and her message to the world that people should never stop reaching for the skies. For many years, countless people had searched for Amelia Earhart's missing plane, hoping for even the smallest clue that would reveal her fate and that of her navigator, Fred Noonan. Every new discovery brought excitement and renewed hope that perhaps the mystery was close to being solved. One such moment came when sonar scans revealed a shape underwater that looked very much like the outline of a Lockheed Electra, the exact type of plane Amelia had flown. Many believed this was finally the evidence they had been waiting for. But after a dive was carried out at the site, the truth turned out to be disappointing. The supposed wreckage was nothing more than a natural rock formation. The rocks had created a plane-like shadow on sonar, tricking the researchers. This cycle of excitement followed by disappointment has happened many times during the long search for Amelia's plane. It is why experts today are more careful when they evaluate new discoveries, knowing that not everything is what it first seems. Dr. Richard Pettigrew and his team at the Archaeological Legacy Institute, formerly called the American Lost Initiative, understand this better than anyone. They have seen hopes rise and fall before, which is why they approach the Terria object with both optimism and caution. Unlike earlier false leads, the Terria object is supported by strong and consistent evidence. It has been captured in satellite images over many years, always in the same location, and its shape matches that of a Lockheed Electra. Even more compelling, aerial photos taken in 1938, just a year after Amelia disappeared, show the same shape in the lagoon. This means the object has been there for nearly a century, adding weight to the possibility that it could truly be part of her missing plane. Having multiple layers of evidence, from old photographs to modern satellite scans, makes the case much stronger and harder to dismiss. Now, the world is watching closely as experts prepare to return to Nikomaro Island in August 2025 for a new expedition. This time, they will bring the most advanced technology available, including high-resolution satellite data, precise GPS tools, sonar equipment, and underwater drones. Their goal is to quickly locate the object and study it directly in the lagoon. If they confirm that it is part of Amelia Earhart's Lockheed Electra, it would be one of the greatest discoveries in aviation history, finally answering questions that have puzzled people for almost 100 years. Could this expedition be the breakthrough that everyone has been waiting for? Many believe it might be. After so many decades of false hopes and dead ends, the combination of strong evidence and advanced modern technology offers a chance unlike any before. For the first time in generations, it feels possible that the mystery of Amelia Earhart may finally be solved. The investigation will be led by a small but highly skilled team of archaeologists and researchers. They plan to use careful excavation methods to examine the object directly where it lies, without disturbing too much of the surrounding area. This way, they can preserve any fragile evidence that might provide important clues about what really happened to Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan during their final flight. Dr. Pettigrew, who is leading the effort, remains hopeful but realistic.